What's going on, Wolves and Warriors? My name's Jay Stewart, and this is the Better Body Academy podcast, the #1 show for those looking to permanently overhaul their mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. We banish the fitness industry BS and replace it with science-backed strategies proven through countless client transformations. In the Better Body Academy, we help busy men and women around the world get unstuck and back into momentum so they start feeling strong and sexy again. Our mission is to transform 1 million lives, and you, my friend, could be next. And on that note, let's get straight into today's show. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast, the podcast that you come to when you're sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. And in today's episode, this is going to be a really simple reminder for our Better Body Academy members. However, for those of you that aren't part of the Better Body Academy, I want to give you some kind of guidance, particularly during this lockdown period, on what you should be doing, particularly in relation to your training while you're in lockdown. So, an amazing morning so far for me. Just got off the call to our mastermind women. So get ready, boys. We're going to be discussing this next week. It was all about emotional intelligence. Oh my gosh, what a topic. Inside of the mastermind, we're focused on trying to discuss really the higher level stuff, the motives behind why we do what we do. Inside of our phase 1 programs, that's all about trying to get your nutrition correct and on point, trying to get yourself into momentum when it comes to your exercise. But inside the mastermind, it's about going really, really deep on the topics that kind of surround your mind work. And it's mastery of the mindset that we're trying to achieve so that over the long term, we can maintain this healthier lifestyle. Anyway, let's talk about what we want to talk about in this episode. And that is one titled, Build Your Engine, Baby. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, firstly, when people come into the academy, I would say probably 95% of our crew come in with the intention of trying to lose body fat. So here's our typical client, a man or a woman that's basically used to be pretty healthy when they were back playing footy or netball or basketball or whatever it was a decade ago. Life and family kind of got in the way. They drank a few too many beers, and then what happened is they woke up one day and they were 10, 20, 30 kilos or more overweight and feeling a bit crappy about themselves. So their primary goal is to lose body fat, okay? So then what we do inside the academy is we put together a plan on how to actually go about achieving that. Now, the only way, if I haven't said this a million times, I've not said it enough. The only way for you to pull back on your body fat levels is to enter what is termed a calorie deficit. Say it alone with me at home. What we need to be doing is entering a calorie deficit. This is where we are essentially taking in less calories than we are burning up, not less food. This is the confusing thing for a lot of people when they start the academy. They're actually really, really full on the food guidance that we actually give them. And they're like, how is it possible for me to be this full and losing fat when before I was really, really hungry and putting on weight? This is what happens when you change the way you eat. You're no longer on a diet. You're feeling better about yourself. You're feeling sustained and you're losing fat. This is the reason why nutrition is always the biggest bang for buck that you are ever going to get. So if you don't need to choose between exercise or nutrition. Of course, you do both in combination when you are trying to overhaul your body fat levels. But if you want to talk about what gets the biggest bang for buck, it's always going to be nutrition. Now, maybe I'm biased being a university qualified dietitian first before I become a personal trainer. And so maybe I'm biased, but if we look at it this way, if you are having a Big Mac and the Big Mac's going to be 550 calories and you're going to go for a run and you're going to burn 200 calories, that means you need to do 2.5 half an hour runs to burn off your Big Mac. You just don't get the bang for the buck. And that's why nutrition should be the first intervention that we make. I'm going to say it again. Nutrition should always be the first intervention that we are going to get right or make in a fat loss transformation, okay? You're getting your nutrition right, the fat will come off you consistently over a period of time. The guys that don't lose the weight that they want to, it's because they are not nailing their nutrition. And it's not for me to decide how stringent our clients want to be. Some of them want to play the journey over a longer period of time to make it more, I guess, easy and sustainable for them, and that's completely fine. Others want the result quicker, and for those guys, I suggest nailing your nutrition and knowing what to do on the food side of things is the most important thing. However, today I want to be discussing the other side of the equation, and that is what sort of exercise should we be focusing on or taking up to give ourselves the best result over the long term. Now, for people who are not part of the academy or they're on their early journey inside of the academy, typically what we've been conditioned to think is that the best way to lose body fat in terms of exercise is to do a lot of cardio. Okay, this has been the thing for a long period of time. We need to kind of do a lot of cardio, get on the treadmill, burn a lot of calories, and hopefully the fat will come off. That's the kind of conventional wisdom that's been around for a while. Although those in the know and those that have been following this advice for a period of time have understood that actually one of the key things that you need to be able to do to keep the body fat off forever is to build a bigger engine. You will not do this doing more cardio. So let me explain with an analogy. I love using analogies because I think it makes it easier for us to understand. So let's talk about a car, okay? If I was to ask you, what are the two ways that you can burn more petrol or that your car would burn more petrol? Well, the first way is that you could drive the car more often, okay? Now, I'm going to give you an example of this. My first car that I was lucky enough for my beautiful parents to buy me was a Hyundai Excel, okay? It was one step up from a basically a lawnmower engine, right? All my mates used to tease me as telling me that I had a hairdresser's car. Okay, fair call, right? Maybe they were right in hindsight. But I could drive this car all around the Central Coast and literally a tank of petrol would last me for 2 weeks, driving back and forward to school, driving back and forward to uni. And this is an example of where driving the car more and more doesn't necessarily equate to the best kind of return on your time investment, okay? Driving the car more and more, this is an equivalent of doing endless amounts of cardio training. So what's cardio? Cardio is things like running, kind of jogging, swimming endlessly, anything that's really targeted, not at muscles, but at getting your heart rate up. Now, I do think that cardio has a very, very important role in being healthy, number one, to give you a better cardiorespiratory system, so to get your heart and lungs nice and strong. But I think using it as the first line of trying to target fat loss is a mistake. Now, let me explain why. Going back to the analogy about the car, there are two ways that we can burn more petrol. Number one is to drive the car more. In other words, do more cardio. The other way is to invest in a car with a bigger engine. Does this make sense? So one, you can drive the car more. Two, you can invest in a car with a bigger engine and you'll burn more petrol. Now, if we contrast my old Hyundai Excel against my current car, which is actually my partner's car, which she had from when she was young. She obviously is much more manly than I am. She's got a big Dodge Durango. So it's this like huge kind of half car, half truck scenario, but it's huge. Literally, I drive it out the door to the gym 5 days a week and it goes through a tank of petrol. It almost feels that for me to get from here to Whistler, okay, Whistler Mountain, an hour and a half away, a tank of petrol is gone. If I was to do that same trip with my Hyundai Excel, I could get to Whistler and back 5 times and I'd still have petrol left in the tank. Guys, this is because bigger engines burn more fuel. Now, what is the relevance of this to you? Okay, well, if you continue to be the person that has a small engine, particularly as you get older and older and older and your metabolism slows down, if you continue to have a small size engine and you are reliant on driving that engine all around town to try to burn more calories, like the Hyundai Excel that I had when I was a kid, it's just going to be a lot of hard work. Now, in addition to the fact that the majority of the people that start with us inside the academy, they are carrying some excess weight. They often have a lot of back pain, ankle pain, knee pain. If you are reliant on doing endless amounts of cardio, which is particularly high impact type cardio, like jogging or running, not only are you risking injury, but you're probably exacerbating the joint pain that you already have. If, however, you were to sacrifice some of your cardio days, and by the way, I think it's really good when the cardio that you do incorporates one of your hobbies, like, for example, swimming or surfing, which is more low impact. However, if you were to give away some of that kind of cardio, that driving your car around town, and instead invested some of your time in building a bigger engine, you are going to get more bang for buck. So when I talk about building a bigger engine, what I am talking about here is commencing a resistance training program. So what is the difference between resistance training and cardio? Well, cardio is all about the heart and lungs, okay? You don't do a lot of cardio to build muscle. In the converse, okay, you don't go to the gym to build your heart and lung fitness or burn a lot of calories. The way in which gym training or resistance training exerts its benefit on calories is by building a bigger engine. So although the resistance training session that you actually do when you go to a gym or you do a home workout doesn't in itself burn as much calories as a cardio session typically will, what it does do is helps you build a bigger engine. This helps us fight against what happens as we age. It's a phenomenon known as sarcopenia. This is a scientific term for age-related muscle decay, okay? When we get older, we lose a certain percentage of our muscle mass each decade that we get older, such to the point that by the time we're 80 years old, we have 30% less muscle mass than we did when we were 30 years old. Now, what's the problem with that? As you lose muscle mass, your metabolism starts to shrink, it starts to slow down. This is the reason why when you're 50 or 40 or even my age at 39, you can't get away with what you used to be able to get away with when you were 21 years old. You can't eat the same foods because you're not burning fuel at the same rate. There's 2 reasons for it. You're not driving your car as much. You're not as exercising as you used to be because you've got other responsibilities. And then the second thing is because your engine size has shrunk. So this is why I always suggest that as part of your fat loss transformation, you should be incorporating some sort of resistance training into your plan to help you slow down the loss of muscle mass and thus the decrease in your metabolic rate. In fact, if you incorporate resistance training into your plan, you may actually be able to build some muscle mass, which could lead to an increase in your muscle mass, which is what we're seeing from a lot of our older guys and girls inside the academy who are doing resistance training for the first time ever, okay? And I can see one of my boys who's watching here, Gaza, exactly that. You're doing resistance training for the first time ever, so you're investing in the future. You're building a bigger engine. This is so important, okay? It's gonna help you burn more calories, even when you're sitting there watching the footy, even when you're sitting there at a mate's barbecue. You will be operating at a higher calorie burn level. For this reason, I see resistance training as the long-term solution to pair with the changes to your food intake This combination of resistance training and nailing your nutrition is what is going to help you lose the weight forever. Now, the role of cardio in this is still important, and I feel like the best type of cardio is walking. If you can get and include 10,000 steps a day, this is the best attention that you can make in terms of cardio, particularly if you're carrying excess weight. It's not going to put a whole lot of excessive pressure on your joints. You're not going to get bunged up knees, okay? And instead, you're going to increase your step count, which is basically, the thing is, we underestimate calories burned from incidental type low intensity activity, and we overestimate the calories burned by going for a 20-minute run. This is why during this lockdown period, the challenge of lockdown is this. When you're stuck inside, what are you doing? You're probably bored. You're probably eating because you're bored. So your calorie intake is going up. At the same time, you're less active, meaning your calories burned is going down. And that's what's creating this kind of surplus. This is why you're starting to accumulate weight over this lockdown period. Now, my intuition tells me that my Aussie brothers and sisters have got a couple of months to go at least till you're going to be out of lockdown, because that's what happened to us in Canada. So you have to have a strategy for what to do about this. This is why I went out and built home body weight circuits to be able to do through lockdown. This is why I went and built dumbbell programs to do during lockdown, where all you actually need is one set of dumbbells that are adjustable, and you can do as effective as a gym session at your home place. Adding that little bit of resistance training to increasing your step count and being mindful of your nutrition will ensure that whether this lockdown goes for 2 months or another 6 months, you will come out of the lockdown period healthier, of a better weight than when you went into it. That's my little secret, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of people that are going to exit this lockdown 10, 20, 30 kilos more. And the reason is that they didn't understand the power of nutrition. They didn't understand the fact that they could actually control this weight gain if they just understood a bit about the fundamentals of calorie balance, building a bigger engine, and then driving that engine a little bit more. So what's your takeaway from this one, guys? What's your takeaway from this one? I think the biggest thing that we need to do, as goes the title of this podcast episode, is start to work on building a bigger engine, baby. This is going to be an investment for the long term. Building muscle over the long term is going to help you push back on this age-related muscle decay, the phenomena known as sarcopenia. And this is going to set you up for long-term success. Not only that, you're going to feel strong, you're going to feel confident, you're going to press yourself, and there's going to be some composition there. You're not going to feel soft and spongy. And that feels good, right? So, one of our ladies is saying, buy a Mustang. Exactly. Upgrade your engine and the calories will be burned at a higher rate, and this will benefit you in the long run. So, guys, stop trying to run your way to fat loss. Instead, make it a bit more broad-based. Address your nutrition, include some resistance training, and yeah, sure, add in a little bit of walking, swimming, surfing, or whatever you like to do on the side to supplement your efforts in the other two areas. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you there. This has been the Better Body Academy podcast, the podcast that you come to when you're sick of the dumb diets, unsustainable workout programs, and doing endless cardio sessions that hurt your knees. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Wolves and Warriors, thank you so much for tuning in. If this podcast is hitting the mark for you and giving you the confidence to start your own personal journey, I want you to hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy. I want to give you the tools to permanently overhaul your mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Our mission is to achieve 1 million lives transformed, and you, my friend, could be next. So hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy, and we can have a chat about whether we can help you with your transformation goals.